One of the problems that we have in HDR is imaging and treating in the same lithotomy position. So we can image the patient, but often not. We then have to move the patient, so everything is lost when we go to treatment. So Zephyr, which is what we see here, solves that problem. And it solves the problem both in CT and also MR. So these are MR stirrups, MR compatible stirrups. We're the only ones, Diacor, Orfit, the only ones with MR stirrups. So first of all, do you just want to simply press that button? Just press that button there and let's see what happens. See that? So this is like a hovercraft system. So we call this blue thing the Sled.
It's hovering?
Yes. Yes. So look, I'm putting my hand underneath it carefully. And now with one hand, I can move the patient. So this Zephyr system can hold a patient up to 450 pounds. Yep, 450 pounds. The stirrups are rated at 350.
Okay.
And just let me show you these stirrups. So these are MR stirrups. As I said, we're the only ones with MR stirrups. So simply twist to the outside. Have a go.
So twist.
Yep, that's it.
Oh, wow, it's a little. Try. It's you have to like hold on to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it goes. It kind of has a.
Well, you can imagine with a big patient with big legs, you need that. Yeah.
Control, like it
yeah.
helps.
So these are gas struts. Otherwise, it would just collapse.
Oh.
And we're going to talk about this in a minute, but what I want to show you now is if you can imagine this to be the CT table or MR. So we're going to transfer this patient of yours, 200-300 pound patient, with one person or two people onto the CT. So the first thing we do, so this particular stretcher is a procedural stretcher. So it will do Trendelenburg. We also have an MR equivalent stretcher. And what we're going to do now is we're going to press that button there. We're going to translate that table. So now we've closed the gap between the stretcher and the CT. So go ahead and press that button again. So it's attached to a blower. So we have a hose and a blower. And this blower can be demounted from the stretcher and mounted on the wall of the room if we want. Either CT or MR. So we're going to move the patient. Thank you. Thanks, Ray. Onto the CT. And we image the patient. I'm going to have you pull it back.
Okay.
So let's do that. And do you want to reach across?
You turn off.
No, not yet.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay. You can press it again. So what I want to show you next is the procedural aspect of this. So we're going to move this patient. Oh. Move the table back. We're going to move this patient right down to the end of the table. Now look at that.
Stop it. It's a little.
So your HDR doc will be sat or sitting, standing here. We have a universal clamp right here. So we can put a stepper onto the rails, or we can put cylinder straight onto this universal clamp, and it's immediately accessible for the doc. Easy.
And the patient's in position, not moving. This is like
so
down.
Good point. So we have a safety strap.
Safety strap.
Yes. And we also have an arm support here.
Okay.
So for an anesthetized patient, you know, with an IV, right?
Yeah.
And then we can, again, just lift up, grab the rails, move the patient. What do you think?
I'm amazed. This would make everything so much easier.
Wouldn't it? So it's easy for you because you don't have to fight the patient. You get what you need the patient in the lithotomy position scanned and then treated in the same position. And the HDR dock has lots of room to treat the patient and the assurity to the patient's in the right position.
This is all cushions for comfort. Okay.
And in these stirrups, there's no Velcro. The previous version had Velcro, which of course is a nightmare for infection control. So no Velcro.
These can be wiped down.
Can be wiped down, exactly.
Everything.
So MR compatible, CT compatible, MR stirrups, 450 pounds. The stretcher itself will take about 600 pounds.
Okay. So it comes with the entire unit.
It can, yeah. We have a lot of people that have a very old system. So we have a couple of hundred of these in the market. One of my particular customers has version 1 or 2, which was developed like 10 years ago, and they've just upgraded to this one. And they already have the stretcher. So they just needed, the blue thing is called the Sled. So they just needed the Sled, the new MR stirrups, the hose and the blower. So it was a very easy upgrade.